think every day, with the noise, we find a way to challenge, our relationship, our mental health, and not for our children. We have to be mentally strong just to block the noise out, because we know what's at stake. And what's at stake is really raising our kids. Mm-hmm. Me and her, we've known each other for so long that, I respect her, right? We're gonna go through our disagreement. I learned to respect her even when I don't like her, right? It's just, I gotta respect her.
They were supposed to be the blueprint, the couple that proved love could survive fame, prison, and public pressure. But now, it seems the fairy tale between Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris has finally cracked beyond repair, and the way it's unraveling, quietly, painfully, and right before our eyes, when Mendeecees sat down for that interview. His tone said it all before the words even came out. Gone was the confident Harlem hustler. What we saw instead was a man exhausted by love, drained by expectations, and haunted by whispers he can't escape. He spoke softly about a new chapter, about figuring things out. But the pause before his next sentence said everything. The love story that started in front of the cameras might be ending behind them. You could hear it in his voice, that strange mix of loyalty and regret. Me and my wife, he said, we've known each other for so long. But now we're trying to figure out what comes next. The world heard hope, but insiders? They heard goodbye. Because let's be honest, this wasn't just any reality TV couple. Yandy and Mendeecees were the empire couple of love and hip-hop, Atlanta. They built businesses, raised kids, and fought through scandal after scandal. They made fans believe love could be a business and a bond at the same time. But lately, it's been business only. Rumors started months ago. Mendeecees spotted at events without his ring. Demons surfacing. Anonymous women hinting at private conversations. And Yandy, usually the queen of Instagram transparency, suddenly became silent. No couple selfies. No My King captions. Just skincare tutorials, motivational posts, and subtle distance. Then came the interview. And for the first time, Mendeecees didn't deny the rumors, he redirected them. I'm not the type to run to the internet, he said. Men don't operate like that. But as he talked about controlling emotions and protecting his sons from public embarrassment, fans realized he wasn't defending his marriage. He was preparing people for the fallout. It's a kind of moment that only hits you after years of watching them grow. From street hustle to red carpet. You remember when Yandy waited through his prison sentence? When she fought producers over respect? When she told the world she'd stand by her man no matter what? That loyalty became her brand. But what happens when that brand starts to cost you peace? Sources close to the couple say Yandy's focus shifted. From family to empire. From wife to CEO. And Mendeecees, though proud, started feeling like a co-star in her story. He wanted stability, privacy, and structure. She wanted purpose, power, progress. The same ambition that once united them slowly became the wedge that pushed them apart, and yet, they never stopped performing for the camera. That's the tragedy of it. Every interview, every post, every family trip looked picture perfect until it didn't. Now, Mendeecees talks about mental health, pressure, and noise. The kind of words people use when the love is still there but buried under too many eyes watching. You can almost picture it. The quiet tension in their Atlanta home. The sound of kids playing upstairs while downstairs two adults sit in silence, staring at a marriage that doesn't feel like there's any more. He wants her attention. She wants understanding. Both too proud to admit they're drifting, and then the public starts pulling strings. Are they still together? Why doesn't he wear his ring? Why is she promoting skincare instead of her husband's restaurant? Each question becomes a knife. Every rumor becomes a wound. The very fame that gave them everything, now taking it all away still. Mendeecees insists they'll figure it out before telling the world. But that one line is what broke the internet. Because couples don't figure it out after 8 years of reality TV and public love stories. They finalize it. They negotiate it. They prepare their families for the announcement. Fans are already connecting dots. That skincare video Yandy posted last week. Viewers noticed the lack of a wedding ring and the overly calm tone. Almost like a woman rehearsing normalcy. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Her words were steady, but her silence between sentences heavy. It's the classic love and hip-hop downfall. Loyalty tested, fame distorted, and the world watching to people become strangers in real time. And through it all, Mendeecees remains careful. No attacks, no shade. Just long pauses, tired smiles, and phrases like "we'll let the kids know first." The kind of line you say when a decision's already been made. You're just choosing when to say it out loud. And maybe that's the saddest part. After all the chaos, all the camera time, all the confessions, it ends not with shouting, not with betrayal, but with silence because silence is louder than any scandal. And for Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris, that silence has already started speaking. When Mendeecees said, "We'll let the kids know first," it wasn't just a line, it was the quiet sound of a door closing. Fans didn't need confirmation anymore. They felt it. The chemistry was gone. The laughter was replaced with obligation. And the once unstoppable duo of love and hip-hop, Atlanta had finally reached the point. Every reality TV romance fears the moment where the cameras stop and real life begins behind the scenes. Insiders say the two have been living separate lives for months. Yandy Smith, ever the professional, buried herself in her businesses, her beauty line, her non-profit work, her endless brand deals, while Mendeecees Harris pulled away from the spotlight, focusing on his sons, his fitness journey, and his peace. What once looked like teamwork now looks like escape routes. And when fans noticed that Mendeecees had quietly unfollowed Yandy on Instagram, the internet did what it always does, exploded. Pages like The Shade Room and Neighborhood Talk started posting side-by-side screenshots. No ring, no tags, no likes. The silence between them became louder than any statement could be. But what really set everything on fire was Mendeecees' new interview clip that surfaced days later. He didn't say the word divorce. He didn't have to. The tone was different now. Final, tired, resigned. "We've grown apart," he said, "and that's okay. Sometimes you gotta love somebody enough to let them go." Those words hit like a funeral bell. Fans who had watched them fight, cry, forgive, and rebuild for nearly a decade felt betrayed. The comments were filled with heartbreak, not Yandy and Mendeecees. They were goals. "I knew it ever since she stopped posting him. This is what fame does." And fame is exactly what did it. Because at some point, their love story became a storyline. Their fights became ratings. Their healing became hashtags. And while Yandy chased meaning in philanthropy and empowerment, Mendeecees was left wondering if there was still room for him in her new world. He once told her, "It feels like a business arrangement," and now, years later, that line has come full circle. Because what they built, restaurants, brands, and sponsorships, outlived a romance that started it all. Still, if you ask Yandy, she'd say she gave everything. The years waiting for his release, raising their children alone, managing her career, keeping his name alive while the world moved on. But love, especially public love, doesn't survive gratitude, it survives connection. And somewhere between loyalty and independence, they lost that. Friends close to the couple claim Yandy tried to save things. She wanted therapy. She wanted a private break, not a public breakup. But Mendeecees, ever proud, didn't want the cameras back in their home just to document the pain. "If we can't fix it behind closed doors," he allegedly told a friend, "then there's nothing left to show," and so the silence continued. No official statement, no press release, just small clues, a family photo missing one parent, a quote about peace in Yandy's story. A gym selfie from Mendeecees captioned, "It's me season." The fans turned into detectives. Reddit threads, TikTok theories, YouTube comment wars, everyone trying to decode the truth. But maybe the truth isn't complicated. Maybe it's simple. Maybe the people who built an empire together just stopped speaking the same emotional language. In one of her recent live streams, Yandy Smith said something that made people stop scrolling. "Sometimes love looks like walking away before resentment grows. No names, no direct shots." But her eyes said enough. And in that moment, the internet realized she wasn't heartbroken. She was free. It's a pattern we've seen 100 times in the love and hip-hop universe. Women who start as ride or die end up realizing they've been dying more than writing. And Yandy, always a symbol of grace and patience, finally hit her limit. Meanwhile, Mendeecees hasn't gone bitter. If anything, he sounds relieved. In his latest podcast appearance, he admitted, "I ain't mad at nobody. I just need peace. I want my kids to see love done right, even if it ain't with their parents together." And that's when it hit everyone. This wasn't a messy breakup. It was an ending that came too late and too quietly. But make no mistake, the pain is still there. You can feel it in every pause, every post, every forced smile. The kind of pain that only happens when you've loved in front of millions and lost behind closed doors. Now the question is, what happens next? Will Yandy Smith rebrand as the independent mogul who chose peace over partnership? Will Mendeecees step into single life? Or will he regret the silence that ended it all? Whatever happens, the fairy tale is gone. The cameras may have stopped rolling, but the audience is still watching, still dissecting, still remembering what once looked like forever. And as one fan perfectly put it under Yandy's last post, you can fix a business. You can rebuild a brand. But when the respect fades, the love fades too. So maybe Mendeecees didn't break the news. Maybe he just confirmed what we all already knew. The empire has fallen. The love is gone. And Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris, once the heart of love and hip-hop, now stand on opposite sides of the same story, the story of how fame, pride, and silence ended what once felt unbreakable, because sometimes it's not the shouting that ends a marriage. It's quiet. The quiet that never leaves.